Karma Rental Shop. The Refund Scammer Villain. 11:30 in the morning, and the asphalt of downtown Seoul was blazing like a frying pan heated over hellfire. The heat rising off my old motorcycle seat climbed up my trouser legs and left me damp. And inside the full-face helmet it was already no different from a sauna. Sweat ran down my chin and seeped inside my lips with a salty taste. But my hands, gripping the handlebars and chasing the tail of the car ahead, had no time to rest. Glancing at my phone while waiting at a light, I saw the delivery app's cheerful, skin-crawling notification chime and a bright red warning box. Delivery delay alert. At an hour when other people sit under air conditioning agonizing happily over what to have for lunch, I was breathing in the grease and exhaust of the road, staking my life on 1/10 of a rating point. Every minute and second was the price of my bottle of soju that evening, and the customer satisfaction number stamped at the top of the app decided next month's rent on my room. In this merciless world I spent every day bowing my head to strangers whose names I would never know. But what truly drove me mad was not the murderous heat or the vicious traffic. It was the parasite in that fancy officetel who had been nibbling away at my rating for days and pushing me toward the edge of a cliff. In this business there are creatures we call refund beggars. They order food, eat until they're stuffed, then badger customer service with claims of a hair that was never there or food gone cold and ruined until they get a refund. Those sociopaths, filling their stomachs for free on other people's sweat and blood, care nothing for the riders they leave holding the loss. And among them, this particular villain was uniquely vicious and clever. His order notes always said, "Leave it at the door. Do not ring the bell. Do not knock." I would set the food down quietly as requested, take the proof photo, send it, and before I could even get down the stairs the call would come from customer service. "Rider, the customer says he never received his food. He insists the unit number in the photo is not his door." I always checked the number and left a photo, but he would find a blind spot in the shot where the light fell wrong, or claim someone had stolen it, and he would get his refund every time. This was the fourth. Because of him my rating hit the floor, and the app sent me a dispatch restriction warning that threatened my livelihood. Watching a day of running red lights under a blistering sun turn into a free banquet for a con artist, I swallowed curses inside my helmet along with the sour taste of my own spit. Night after night I lay awake, unable to sleep for the injustice of it. He lived in a fine officetel and treated the life of a man like me, earning today what he eats today, as a disposable prop for his own amusement. It was one night when my vision was blurring with rage and self-disgust. At the end of the dark alley I rode into after my last delivery, under a dim street lamp, stood a stranger with a worn leather bag. He looked oddly like me, and yet carried something far more composed, far colder. Before I had even shut off my engine, he spoke in a dry voice, as if he had already read everything in my heart. "To a man who steals another's honest labor at a bargain price, would you like to return the exact weight of the lies he spat out?" His voice was low, but it cut through the noise of my old engine and lodged clearly in my ears. Any other day I would have written him off as a lunatic and ridden on, but that day was different. The venom built up inside me answered his offer. From his bag he drew an ordinary-looking receipt sticker and a clear glass monocle and handed them to me. The sticker, called the Invoice of Accumulation, was to be attached to a food bag. The monocle, called the Lens of Truth, would let me watch in real time what happened beyond a door. The man whispered that the instant the sticker was attached, every lie the villain spoke would become reality, and that every meal he had stolen would be forcibly settled, with interest for late payment. As if under a spell, I took the tools. He vanished like night fog before I could even lift my head, and all that remained in my hands was a strange coldness. The next day, at last, my chance came. A delivery call appeared on my screen with his familiar address. The order was a premium assorted tuna sashimi platter, more than 70,000 won. With trembling hands I attached the small receipt sticker to an inconspicuous corner of the food bag. Then, as always, I set the food at his door, took the photo and sent it. Normally I would have fled the scene thinking I had stepped in something foul, but this time was different. I pretended to go down the stairs, then climbed back up without a sound, raised the Lens of Truth to my eye, and turned toward his door. And then an unbelievable sight unfolded. The firmly shut steel door turned transparent like mist, and the inside of the apartment came clearly into view.